Yo, what's your boy Ghost here, and today I am bringing you guys officially the first comparison for Cold War. Now, since there's no Warzone, we have to resort to the next best thing, and that is multiplayer. See, before we get into the comparison, I just want to briefly talk about my experience with Cold War, and that is that I'm really loving this game right now. I'm telling you, bro, I'm already Prestige 1. I'm already at essentially 2 guns gold. I am having a blast on this game, and bro, Modern Warfare multiplayer has nothing on this. Now, obviously, Warzone, that is a different story, and when Warzone comes out, oh, baby, it's going to be a movie when Warzone comes out. But also, this video is essentially like the first one, you know, of Cold War, and so I may be a little rusty at this because, not rusty, but a little weird just because this is multiplayer. I've never really done these type of comparisons. I've only done one of them, and that was in the beta, and so, you know, bear with me here. But with that being said, let's get into the comparison. So here we have my class setup for the M4. Now, the first one was the optic, was the GI mini reflex or whatever. I don't know why, but my clips have been kind of shortened, so that's why the first one wasn't. But this right here is the class setup that I ran, and I want to briefly talk about something before we even get into like the stats and whatnot. So I know you guys are wondering why I'm not using the last barrel for the M4. I tried using it, and bro, I did not like it. It had, to me, too much recoil. But you know, obviously with that barrel you do get a damage increase. You go from 30 base damage to 32. But I don't know, I've used it, I never really felt the difference, and on top of that, there's a lot of recoil. And to me, the M4 beams. Now, the thing about the M4 though is it's kind of like an M13, but slightly less of a beamer. But it has, a lot of people have been, you know, kind of been iffy about this gun just because it feels a little weak compared to some of the other things. I mean, not to mention we have the MP5 running rampant, and we have the M16 and AUG just doing their thing, and so maybe that might make it seem like the M4 isn't, or the XM4 isn't the best AR. But to me, you know, I had a blast with it, but I did feel like I was getting outgunned by a lot of other things. Like, I'm not saying the gun is bad, but it's definitely, in my opinion, judging off what I've seen from all the other ARs, it's probably on the lower tier or the lower side of things comparing it to the other like 4 other ARs. Now, in terms of damage range, this thing has a 76.35 meter damage range, or at least my class setup does. Base wise, I probably should have looked that up, my apologies, but for my class setup has essentially 76 meters of damage range. But again, you gotta keep in mind that this is only doing like 30, and I'm pretty sure at range it falls off. So, you know, it feels slightly weak. Now, headshots though, when you get headshots, just like anything in this game, it's insane. Like, the headshot multiplier is literally it's dumb, okay? And honestly, I think it's a little bit worse than Modern Warfare, but I don't know, man. Let me know what you guys think about the headshot multiplier. But you guys can see here, man, I'm just straight beaming kids. Like, this gun is really good for beaming kids. The long shots though were kind of annoying to get. I mean, mostly because I didn't really know where the long shot spots were, and now that I do know where they are, it's slightly less harder. But you know, you got to keep into account that, you know, the XM4 was still slightly weak, and trying to kill people like at really long distances when they had the ability to get into cover was, you know, annoying. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act like though that the XM4 is the best gun in the game. I did already just state that it was probably on the, you know, the lower tier things, and if we're gonna put this in the Warzone perspective, I'm gonna have to say that it's gonna be again in the little, like, in the category that the M13 is. I feel like a select few is gonna like it, but for the most part, it's gonna be kind of weak. I don't know. I just felt like it was lacking damage, and when I used the AK, it was a different story. So with that being said, let's get into the AK. Now, let me tell you something about the AK, man. Whatever you know of the AK from Modern Warfare and previous CODs, I swear this thing is the opposite of that. This gun right here, man, it has it all. It has the damage and it has the accuracy. This thing does not move. Granted, I feel like most of the weapons in this game don't really move because there's 8 attachments available, and a lot of them reduce your recoil. You know, I kind of don't like that, but it is what it is. But I will say that this gun right here is a problem. And if you have not given it a chance yet, please, man. I know it's like 3 days into the game, but put this gun on the agenda because this thing is a monster. Now, I will say that when Warzone comes out, I already know this weapon is going to be a beast. I'm going to have so much fun using this weapon just because honestly this has become one of my favorite. Even though the game's been out already, I've seen a lot of weapons and this right here feels so good in my hands. So let's talk about this weapon. So the base damage that this thing has is 38. So that's already a huge increase compared to the XM4, and you definitely feel it when you're playing. Now, when you add on the barrel that adds on damage, it goes from 38 to 42. And then again, the increase on that is already bigger than the XM4, because in the XM4 you only get a 2 damage increase. In the AK you get a 4 damage increase. Now, I have not used the last barrel. I might eventually, but to be honest, I don't really like the last barrels. I feel comfortable with the barrels that I'm using. But again, you know, it might be good in Warzone. It might be good later on. We'll just have to wait and see. Because again, it is early, and you know, some of you guys actually might think, a little sidetrack here, that I'm doing this video a little too early. Trust me, bro. I have like 13 hours played a multiplayer. I have 1,000 kills with both these weapons. I have them both gold. Like, bro, I've used these weapons enough to know like what these things can and can't do. So speaking of things that it can do, the damage range on this is actually way less than the M4, but I think that the damage it makes up for it. If that makes sense? It does make sense. So it has a 66.68 meter damage range. Now again, that is my class setup, not the actual base weapon, but that is my class setup compared to my M4 class setup or XM4 class setup. But to be honest, again, like I said, I do not feel the difference in damage range at all. Like, I still feel like I beam kids, you know? And the damage output is insane because again, this damage the damage on the AK is pretty high. Now, I don't know how it compares to the other ARs. I'm not sure how much damage like the Craig, the FFAR, and the what's it? I forgot what the other one's called, but I know what it is. I don't know the damage profile of those weapons, but I'm gonna have to say that I don't really think the FFAR or the other one, the Type 25, that's what I know it as, doesn't have more damage than the AK. I feel like maybe the Craig might have more damage. I'm just gonna have to see. If you guys actually can leave it in the comments down below, tell me which one has the most damage. I know it's easy to access that, and you know I probably should have done it. I apologize for that. But another thing I want to touch on is the bullet velocity on these weapons. So the bullet velocity for the XM4 was 605 compared to the AK47's 539. Now, to be honest with you, I'm kind of stupid, so I don't know what is faster. I'm gonna say that the AK, the lower the number, I think it has a faster fire rate or bullet velocity, whatever. Please, somebody correct me on this because I am not sure. I don't know how to read bullet velocity. I'm not sure if the lower the number, the faster it is, or the higher the number, the faster it is. So if you guys can do me a favor there and actually, what you call it? Tell me what the faster the weapon is, because again, I'm only giving you guys the numbers. I actually don't know which one's faster. And so now that we come to essentially not the end, but what do you guys think about these weapons? I know again, some of you guys might have already like steered off and used the M16 or joined the million other players using MP5s, but I'm telling y'all, man, if you guys have used these weapons, let me know what you guys think. I know I've seen some negative comments about the XM4, but you know, you have to really use the weapon for you to, in order to like form that opinion. The AK47 is about the same too. I feel like though in the beta it started getting its name out there because this thing was hidden, bro, and it's, you know, again, it's hidden right now. But I also want to touch a little about the stats that I covered this video. Let me know what other stats you guys want to know in the video. I know there's a bunch of stats that are available now with the whole system, and that's why I started giving you guys numbers, because you know I was opposed to numbers in the past, but I mean now that they're here, I really like have no excuse to not put up some numbers. So let me know if you guys want to see any other, I guess, statistical categories, or if you just want to just see like the whole statistics screenshot. You know what I'm talking about. When you press the R2 button, you know, like it shows you all the stats. Let me know if you guys want to see that. Just give me some more feedback on how to improve these videos, because again, this is my first official Cold War comparison. And this right here was definitely a little bit harder to me than the Warzone comparisons. It actually took a lot longer to compose this video. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video. Let me know what you guys think of the weapons, and also let me know what you think of Cold War. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.